those of you who are tuning in from beyond our beautiful five boroughs. I think first and foremost, I want to say thank you for coming back to talk with the people. Now, today, as you know, there's a lot on our minds. The thing that comes right to the front of it for me is empathy and solidarity with Haitian and Syrian New Yorkers. We saw today the Supreme Court make a decision that is putting so many people's lives in jeopardy. And I just came back from a rally with 1199 as I stood alongside a number of Haitian New Yorkers who are concerned about what this means for their status in our city. And frankly, this city, the one that we love, is one that has been built by so many from so many different parts of the world. And that includes our Haitian brothers and sisters, our Syrian brothers and sisters. And we stand here ready to be in solidarity with all of those who are concerned by today's decision. And beyond just language of solidarity, actions of solidarity. Now, what that means when it comes to our city is if you are worried about what this means for your status, if you're worried about what this means for your family, I would encourage you to call our Mayor's Office of Immigrant Affairs hotline. And you can do so at 1-800-354-0365. Again, that's 1-800-354-0365. Now, many of you know this is a city of 8.5 million people. More than 3 million of us were born elsewhere. I'm one of them. We're a city that's proud of our immigrant heritage. And when we think about especially what Haitian New Yorkers have had to deal with, not just for weeks or months or years, but frankly for decades, we have seen a cruelty that has become normalized. And to have people who frankly taught the world about freedom have their own freedom be put in jeopardy by the actions of a Supreme Court and a federal administration, it is not only cruel, it's something that we will not ever accept. And so we stand here as New Yorkers proud of standing in solidarity and proud to do everything that we can to keep people in their homes and to keep people together. And we're proud of that because we know that at the core of what it means to be a New Yorker is also to celebrate the many different places that we all come from, to understand that no matter where we were born, no matter what language we spoke growing up, we belong in this city, and this city belongs to us. And especially when you think about the fact, as you can see here on this pin, a team that brought us all together in the Knicks and reminded us of what it means to be a part of the city, the joy, the emotion, the ecstasy that comes with knowing yourself as a New Yorker. And it wasn't just embracing the people next to you whose names you've known for years. It was also jumping into the arms of a stranger, watching the game wherever you were, whether it was a Link NYC kiosk or at a bar in a backyard or on a delayed stream, somehow in the trunk of a random New Yorker's car, you were watching the game. And I think what those weeks also showed us was the magic of the city. And that at the heart of that is each and every New Yorker, no matter how different their stories are. Whether they're Haitian, whether they're Syrian, whether they're from wherever it may be in the world, they too are New Yorkers. We're proud of them, and we're proud of the city. Now, if I'm going to talk about the Knicks, we're going to talk about a team that was on a hot streak, which is a very natural segue into also talking about the weather and how hot it has been and how hot it continues to be. And so I wanted to let everyone know, as the temperatures are heating up, today's maybe in the mid-80s or so, but we're going to see days where we start to get close to what it was at the peak of last year, 99 degrees, more than 100 when it comes to JFK. We want to make it clear to New Yorkers how to stay safe. Now, that means staying cool. It means sometimes staying indoors, staying as close as you can to air conditioning, whether it be at your home, a friend's place, or maybe just a public library or at a cooling center. Now, if you want to know where those kinds of resources are, I would ask you to text Notify NYC to 692-692. Again, that's Notify NYC to 692-692. That will sign you up for regular updates of the weather, of the resources that you need, and just staying up to date with things, whatever they may be, happening in our city, things that you should know. Now, we know that of the 8.5 million people who call this city home, when we're talking about the heat, it really does apply, not just all of us, but even especially to the 1.4 million New Yorkers who work outdoors. Recently, earlier this week, I stood alongside a number of New Yorkers, including John Mosquera, who is one of those very workers, loads cargo onto planes and was doing so at an airport here in our city when he lost consciousness as a result of the heat. Because we measure the temperature as we know it maybe in Central Park, sometimes on the tarmac, but when you're in that cargo hold, it's even hotter. And he lost his consciousness, he started to see spots, and then just 10 minutes after he passed out, he had to get right back to work. And so earlier this week, I signed an executive order that instructed city agencies to start to develop protections and guidance for workers who are working outside, to remind employers of their responsibilities under the law, and to ensure that for delivery workers, we actually enforce those kinds of protections. Protections that include ensuring that they can actually go to the bathroom at the same restaurants that they're delivering food for. Because what we see far too often is our idea of a workplace is one that maybe was true 50 years ago, 100 years ago. But today, for many New Yorkers, that workplace is outside. That workplace is on the streets. That workplace is in transit. And they still are entitled to the same protections as any other worker. And so that's why we made the decision to not only sign that executive order, but also to make clear to New Yorkers what it means to be safe, especially in an era of an ever-escalating climate crisis. Now, in this moment, as we are speaking about the heat, you might hear me talk about it every few days on something called the morning pitch. Every time that New York City and New Jersey are hosting a World Cup match, I'll start the day off giving you not only the updates you need to know for how to get to the game, the teams that are playing, also the weather, and just giving you up to dates on every single one of those 8 matches that we're going to host. Today happens to be one of those matches. Ecuador playing Germany. I haven't actually tuned in. I think we're about to hit the end of the first half, so if you know any updates, please do hit them in the chat. And what we're seeing right now is not only a decider, because this Ecuador needs to win this game in order to qualify, but also an opportunity for so many New Yorkers to celebrate their heritage and where they're from. There are more than 200,000 Ecuadorian New Yorkers for whom today is such an incredible day. And if you want to join in that celebration, one way you can also do so is to make sure you hop on a 7 train that has been painted with the colors of both the Ecuadorian national team as well as the German national team. And you can actually find out where that train is by downloading the latest version of the MTA app. And that'll show you so you can time which train car you're getting on. Now, alongside the World Cup, we also have something that maybe a few less New Yorkers are thinking about, but it's still incredibly important. And that's the Committee on Government Efficiency, COGE. If you've watched the last 2 streams, then you know that we are talking about using every tool at our disposal on how to make government as excellent and as efficient as possible. Now, we have 2 more hearings coming up next week. They're going to be in the Bronx. They're going to be in Brooklyn. They're going to be starting at 5 p.m. Now, if this is something that you're interested in, I would encourage you to go to nyc.gov/COGE. Again, that's nyc.gov/COGE. If you went to one of the hearings, please let us know how it was. What kind of testimony did you share? Because we want to know. We want to make sure that city government is something that you not only know about, but also that you help to inform what it is that we do. And we can't wait to hear from you, whether you've already done so or whether you're thinking about joining one of these few additional hearings. Now, as you know, on Talk with the People, we open up with some of the updates from the week, and then we have a guest that we want to introduce not only to all of you, but also to give a moment to actually explore their reflections, their thoughts, their feelings about what life is like in our city. And so today, I wanted to bring up a New Yorker who is an incredibly special New Yorker, a New Yorker who I had the opportunity to speak